let's talk about obstructive sleep apnea. It's a condition that affects millions of people. But today, we're not just talking about the condition itself, we're going to uncover the hidden story of how we actually measure it, and why the way we've been doing it for decades might be missing the point entirely. So just think about this for a second. What if that key number your doctor is looking at, the one that defines how severe your condition is and whether your treatment is working, what if that number has almost nothing to do with how you actually feel day to day? That's the huge question we're digging into. All right, so let's introduce the main character in this whole story. It's a thing called the Apnea-Hypopnea Index, or just AHI for short. For years, this has been the absolute gold standard in sleep medicine. You could call it the official scorecard for sleep apnea. Now, on the surface, the AHI makes perfect sense, right? It's a pretty simple count. How many times every hour does your breathing stop or get really shallow? The higher the number, the worse the sleep apnea. It's clean, it's quantifiable, and it's what doctors have relied on forever to diagnose and treat this thing. But, and this is a big but, this is where the whole story starts to get complicated. Study after study is showing a really weak link between a person's AHI score and how they actually experience the disease. You could get a treatment, lower your AHI, and still feel totally exhausted. So the official scorecard, it might not be telling us the whole story. And that leads us to this really big and frankly kind of dangerous disconnect. We're talking about the massive gap between the cold, hard clinical data and the actual real-life experience of being a patient. This quote from the research just hits the nail on the head. I mean, think about it. If the whole point of medicine is to help people feel better, but the main thing you're measuring doesn't track feeling better, then you've got a serious problem on your hands. This chart shows that disconnect perfectly. For doctors, the big goal has always been to get that AHI score down. But when you ask patients, what do you care about most? They say something completely different. They want better sleep quality, to feel like they slept well, and they want more daytime energy to actually live their lives. Here's a really simple way to think about it. Just focusing on the AHI is like going to a restaurant and judging a meal only by counting how many ingredients are in the dish. It might have 30 ingredients, but that tells you nothing about whether it was delicious or just awful. For too long, we've been counting the ingredients instead of just asking, how did it taste? So, if the AHI isn't the whole picture, then what is? Well, let's look at what patients say they really want to focus on. Because when researchers finally asked them, the answers were incredibly clear. 46%. Just let that number sit there for a second. It represents the single biggest priority for pretty much every patient that was surveyed. That's it. Nearly half of all patients said their number one goal wasn't to hit some target number. It was just to improve how they felt about their sleep. They just want to have what you and I would call a good night's sleep and wake up feeling refreshed. And it doesn't even stop there. Patients want to track things that directly connect to their everyday life, things like their energy levels, their ability to get up and be active, and even deeper stuff like their oxygen levels overnight or how broken up their sleep is. It's basically a call for a much more complete, holistic view of health. Okay, so if you're going to change what you measure, it makes sense that you also have to change how you measure it. And according to patients, the future of this technology might already be on their wrist. So you look at the current tools. We're talking about CPAP machines, bulky clinical monitors. They feel intrusive and uncomfortable. But when you ask patients what they'd rather use, they point to the non-invasive tech they already know and love. Smartwatches, smart rings, and other seamless things like sleep mats. Now, here is a huge, critical warning for anyone developing this new tech. Patients are being very clear. They don't just want more data, they want wisdom. They need to understand what a high heart rate during sleep actually means for their health, and more importantly, what they can do about it. Because data without any context is just noise. Okay, so let's put all of this together. What this research gives us is a really clear, actionable roadmap for innovation in sleep tech. It's all about finally starting to measure what actually matters to people. And this roadmap is beautifully simple. First up, modality. Build for the devices people will actually use, like a smartwatch. Second, accuracy. You have to make sure the data is rock solid and clinically reliable. And third, and this is the key, interpretability. You have to translate all that data into simple insights that actually empower patients to improve their own health. This quote just sums it all up perfectly, doesn't it? We have to get beyond just putting sensors on people and collecting signals. The real breakthrough, the real future,
is in translating those biological signals into metrics that mean something for a person's quality of life.
And that really brings us to the final thought here, because this idea isn't just about sleep apnea, it's about the entire future of digital health. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. When it comes to your own health, what's the one feeling, maybe it's focus or calm or energy, that you wish technology could finally truly measure for you?